Good afternoon. Welcome back. Sean here, Mountains Garage. It's the heat of the day on this beautiful Tuesday. It's about 42 degrees, but the wind is calm. It's been an interesting fall. We had fall where all the leaves fell down, made a big mess on the lawn, and then the wind took most of them away, and now we've been in kind of a honeymoon period where the yard's clean, everything's dead, all the leaves are off the trees, and no snow yet. But it's mid-November, and if you live in anywhere in snow country, but here in the Northeast, that means, I mentioned it a couple videos ago, it's time to get ready for the inevitable snowfall. Now, it could happen tomorrow. And I wasn't ready, and I'm still not ready, but I'm closer than I was. I don't drive the red Dodge or the Suburban or take my trailers out when they salt the roads. If we have a stretch of wet weather midwinter and the road's dry and it's cold enough that it's not making puddles, I'll take it out. Otherwise, I don't roll. It's not worth it. I worked, call it 28 years, working on snow removal equipment, putting out salt and dealing with the vehicles that are there on scene as the stuff's being spread, salt and calcium. In my entire career, I was beating on rusty stuff. I don't want to do that with my own vehicles, so I have always had a winter beater. In this case, my beat is pretty good. It's only a 50,000 mile 2004 Honda, but it gets you around and you blend right in, which I don't do with most of my other vehicles. So over the last couple days, I used a Suburban for probably one of the last times, and I filled it up again. That hurt because gas has gone down 20 cents a gallon in 2 days. And I filled it up at the peak, almost $4 a gallon. However, if you pay for a car wash, I waited a long time. I used to have access to a wash bay. Of course, when I went out on my own, I lost that privilege. And about that time here in my town, they put in a car wash. You can select different levels of wash. It has the underbody wash, different levels of wax. And I've been buying the low to mid-grade wash because I'm thrifty. Just for kicks on my wife's car, which never gets washed, other than the wintertime. I bought the good one the other day, and then she drove all weekend in the rain, and it still looks as nice as when we washed it. Whatever they put for a coating on it is pretty nice. So, and it reduces the gas 10 cents a gallon. So I just did the Suburban and the Dodge in the last 2 days, filled them up and gave them a wash job. The Dodge, I tried to pre-treat it with Simple Green because there's mold everywhere because it's never been washed in a decade. And it's better than it was, but that's okay. And then I came back and I put the blade on the tractor and rinsed that off so I can see through the windows. Topped off the fuel. And I guess I'm semi-ready. I still have a lot of fenders and stuff I need to take care of, but I don't expect any life-altering storms right off. But you never know. We could get a couple feet of snow. It could stay the rest of the winter. And I could be talking to you on Christmas Eve, which I hope this is my ultimate scenario, and it's still green, because I like everything just like this. Because I don't drive them in the wintertime, and hardly ever in the rain even, the Suburban had only gotten dirty over time, and I've never seen it clean. Honest to God, I washed it and then ran into the supermarket next door. I came back out and I almost couldn't find it. It looks so much better. The wheels, I painted them the day I bought it. Gloss black, and they've looked something else ever since. Now, things looking pretty sporty. The Dodge, it can only get so good, but it looks better than it did. But it does have, of course, the clear coat's falling off. But over on this side, like I say, the Simple Green broke some of the mold loose, but I got to give it a good scrubbing. But just the fact there's frozen Simple Green on it over the wintertime. In the spring, the vehicles always look cleaner than they were in the fall. I bought this tractor in 2011. In my mind, it's still new. And next thing you know, that's what, 11 years ago? It's only got 200 and something hours on it. 90% of that snow removal. This blade has worked out wonderful. It's a 9.6 Fisher Extreme V. I put a new blade on it, well, seems like a couple years ago, but probably 5 or 6 now. Maybe more than that. Still holding out okay. I treat the fuel. I buy winter. I had winter blend this time when I went to fill up all my cans at near $6 a gallon. I'm just saying that so when I watch this video 5 years from now, I'll either say, wow, fuel was expensive, or wow, I remember back when it was $6 a gallon. Every year I wait till the midwinter. I'll pick a sunny day and I'll put the chains on. And every time I question, why don't I just put them on now? So the next warm day, I'm going to do that and just have them on all winter. It really makes the tractor a superhero. My rear tires aren't loaded. I leave the backhoe on. It's a pain to, you get, cognizant of the fact it's back there, but you could easily bash into something. Knock on wood, I haven't done that yet. Too bad. Haven't hit a vehicle yet anyway. So that helps. I call it my $10,000 counterweight, but I should fill the tires with something, but that's a whole nother hassle. RV antifreeze is about the best deal. Maybe someday, but for now, when I chain the front tires, it really makes it a superhero, but you have to be careful because it has a setback front axle. The blade is way out here, and you could easily probably break the front axle. I wouldn't let just anybody operate it. I'm the only one that operates it, which leads to a semi-funny story. I was just rinsing it off a few minutes ago, and over here on the hood, it looked like I drove into a white car. It looked like it was actually smashed in and covered with white paint. I'm going to go ahead and call it structural bird poop. It looks good now. It was 11 or 12 years ago that I built the orange trailer. I wanted to build an everything trailer, which is hard to do. So I have twin 8-lug 7,000-pound axles. I'm somewhat of a trailer geek. The only difference between a 8-lug 6,000-pound and a 8-lug 7,000-pound axle is the diameter of the axle tube. What the metal, how thick the metal is on the tube. So I got twin 7,000-pound axles, 14,000 GVW. The trailer is like 2,700 pounds, so you can haul the difference in theory. And when I was building the ramp, well, let's go back to the night I had the frame rails laid out on the floor. My wife and a friend of mine were hanging around. I had a 28-foot vintage Outlaw enclosed trailer that hauled perfect, so we scaled the math down, figuring out where to put the axle, because I wanted it to handle like that. I've had trailers in the past that swayed, and there's nothing worse than that, and that's typically caused by the axle being too far forward. So if the axle doesn't look like it's 2/3 of the way back, probably gonna not haul very well. So I had it laid out on the floor. I was gonna build a 20-foot deck, which it is, and a 4-foot beaver tail on the back. And they talked me out of it. And I kind of talked myself out of it. I can only blame them so much. I could have done it if I really wanted to. I still wish I had. So when I went to build the ramps, they were 7 feet long. The steel that I had, I couldn't see any reason to cut them down, so I built them this long. Well, they're heavy. I never did put springs on them, which I'm going to. And in really low vehicle, like loading up the Race 55 Chevy down in Boston, I'm glad I had some wood with me, because I had to run the 55 up on pieces of wood on the ramps to get it to clear the end of the trailer. Even though I had jacked the tongue up really high, that vehicle's really low, and there's a cross member that hangs down really low. So this is not the ultimate for low vehicles. It's pretty good, and I love it, and I'm never going to get rid of it. But on the way down to Boston, it was a blustery day. The wind on these ramps in this position, it's like a sail. It's like having the brakes on. The transmission's downshifted on a straightaway on flat, what seems to be flat going, because it can't even go 70 miles an hour. It's like pulling a parachute. So I thought to myself, if I had a smaller trailer, it would probably pay for itself in a couple trips. So I've been kind of on the lookout in the last month for a decently priced trailer. And this is a 7x18 Rice. They're made in Missouri. There's a lot of them for sale around here. Pretty popular. And this trailer is a 2020. It was half price of new, and the guy threw in a winch and a spare tire, and it was just a good deal. It wasn't too far from my house, and it has similar axle placement. It hauls really well. I'm going to take this winch, or a winch, and mount it in the box in the front, I believe. And I'm going to go ahead and paint this wooden deck and my once pristine wooden deck on my orange trailer, which I have already replaced one board, and probably the center one of the front will need it eventually. We're going to paint them both with black Rust-Oleum. See how that works out. I used to treat this every year with Thompson's Water Seal. Next thing you know, you skip a year, and then you skip 5 years. The Rice trailer has a nice diamond plate beaver tail. What I don't like about a lot of the beaver tail trailers is they put the ramps around on the sides. You have to carry the ramps out. If you're in traffic, that's an extra pain. These slide right out, and with the angle iron, they'll go all the way across. So any width vehicle, where mine has never been a problem, I made it so they slide pretty close together, but you can't put them right next to each other. But the golf cart drove right up on the orange trailer, no problem. So the only thing really wrong with the Rice trailer is I gotta get this dent out of the fender and remount the winch and fix the breakaway cord, the one that attaches to the truck, the mechanical cord that would apply the breakaway for the brakes. The Rice trailer has twin 3,500 pound axles, so 7,000 GVW, and it weighs about 2,085 pounds according to the website. It's a 7x18, so it's got 14-inch tires, pretty standard 5-lug stuff. And finally, just the other day, actually Sunday mornings in a row, I bought trailers. I was shopping for a winch, and I noticed this Econo trailer. I had looked at one similar to it 2 weeks ago that was all diamond plate deck. This one just has pathways in diamond plate. Econo trailers built out of Pennsylvania. They're exactly as they say. Structurally, they're pretty, I mean, they're lightweight for sure, but sturdy, and they always have 4-wheel brakes from what I gather from the website, which is important in my state anyway. Any trailer over 3,000 pounds, each wheel has to have a brake. So it does have a 2 5/16 ball like the other two. This toolbox has to go. Did come with a couple spare tires. This is a 2007 Econo trailer, 16 foot. Again, 3,500 pound axles times 2, 14-inch tires, same as the Rice. And the ramps, despite having a beaver, are in the back. The ramps are made out of diamond plate, and they slide right out of the back. My first trailer, my uncle built me. He was selling them. Instead of the rear cross member being like this, it was moved up about halfway to the next cross member, which made it really easy to hook up the chains on the back. Otherwise, you're stepping over or laying on the deck. So I may move this cross member ahead. In this case, you can just step over it, but we'll see. And I like the fact it's diamond plate. I think I might diamond plate some of the middle of it eventually. I like the diamond plate fenders. So for a cheap trailer, Econo trailer, it's not bad. And the kicker was, it came with a brand new 12,000 pound Tractor Supply winch and mounting plate. So that's 500 and something bucks by itself. And the Econo trailers come with a combination of house wiring and Scotch locks and stuff. So the guy that owned this was starting to rewire it. I need to finish it. When I built the orange trailer, I used a sealed harness and all LED lights. Never given me 1 second of trouble. The Rice trailer has all LED lights. This needs the same treatment. I believe the new rear lights are LED, but nothing else is hooked up, and the brakes aren't hooked up. So she's a diamond in the rough, but if you know me at all, you know I love trailers. And finally, since we're out back looking at all the junk, I bought a white 2003 E-Z-GO golf cart with a fresh engine. I think I showed it to you a couple weeks ago. It was missing the fold down rear seat, and I was pricing that out, And even golf carts that don't run are typically very expensive. This 2002, same golf cart as the other one, Easy Go, was make offer. So I did, and here it is. So I immediately took the rear seat off. It's the same color tan, fit right on the other cart, and this had fake Traeger SS hubcaps that I put on the other golf cart, so that's kind of cool. And this one runs, but the motor is noisy. You had some kids operating it, going up and down a long dirt road all summer, and they must have run out of oil because I put almost 2 quarts in it, and it did not solve the engine noise. So if you've ever priced golf cart engines, if you want to like get a reman, you have to mail in the core first, and they have to deem it rebuildable, or they're going to charge you an additional $1,000 over the $1,000 for the engine. So I'll either rebuild the one in it, like the guy I bought the white cart from 2 weeks ago. He had just rebuilt it because it had an engine noise. So that's one option. Second option is the old, Harbor Freight Predator 420 swap. So this might be some good fun. It's in a lot of ways very identical to mine. I have a better roof on mine. This has got the cheap roof, but the rear seating arrangement, I was either going to make a seat bottom for the other one or buy a seat bottom, and that was almost half of what the cot was. So this required no effort. I took out 2 bolts, bolted the seat on the other one. Everything was good. All right, that's it. I got to go catch a school bus. I'll take the other cot, which failed to start this morning. It was so cold out. I'd been waiting to change the carburetor. I bought a new carburetor, but it runs so rich. It ran really good when it was cold. And this morning, it just didn't want to go. I went out a couple hours later and started right up. So we'll try again tomorrow morning. But hey, thanks for watching. And we'll be back in the shop on the next video. Catch you later.